Hello, everybody. Welcome to The Interview. I'm Alex Peña. Today we're joined by Ryan Martin, who is the president of the Ryan Martin Foundation. He's a basketball player for the New York Rolling Knicks of the NWBA. He's a blogger. He's a motivational speaker. He lifts people up. He does everything. Ryan, thank you very much for joining us.
Oh, no, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
How do you find time to balance all these things you're doing?
I have a lot of great support from, just board members, volunteers, individuals that, work for my foundation as well. So I'm definitely not alone in it, and they make sure I can be at all the places I'm supposed to be at.
Now, you played abroad 10 years in Europe.
Right.
How did that opportunity came about to go be there 10 years and just do what you love?
It's funny because I think I think in the world of professional sports, you have your superstars and then you have your players who just can't cut it. I think probably one of the harder things to do is, to kind of be a veteran, kind of last a long time, because there's always somebody younger who will do the job cheaper and different things like that. I had some great teammates, and I had some, bosses and coaches that really believed in my skills, and I'd have to say I really just learned how to be a professional from the training aspect, from the rest aspect, and different things like that. So I consider myself pretty fortunate because I don't think, I don't think this would be a shock to anybody who's seen me play. I'm not necessarily the most physically gifted or naturally gifted athlete, but I learned how to play my sport, and I learned how to be professional about it.
What are some of the challenges that athletes, wheelchair athletes playing basketball or other sports, what are some challenges that people might not necessarily understand?
I think there is, I think there's just less opportunities overall. When you look at it, from the structure of opportunities for kids to really find that first sport and to begin to excel. And then I think when you look at our high performance model for the Paralympics and for professional sports, I just don't think there's a lot of opportunities. And I think that's probably the biggest challenge, finding that opportunity, whether it's to get your start as a kid in the world of adaptive sports or Paralympic level sports, and then being able to find like a high performance pipeline. I think when we look at the contrast to able-bodied sports, if we see a child who is 10 years old and really gifted at soccer, somebody snatches them off that soccer field, they put them in a high performance pipeline, and if that kid's fortunate enough, they have it all kind of mapped out for them. I think that's one of the challenges that we see, in regards to Paralympic athletes.
What's the strongest advice that you've told somebody, and then later on you see them again and they kind of said, this hit me the most, this is what I took the most from your clinic?
So we've had several kids who have come through the clinic or come through the junior program, and now we're playing at the collegiate level. And I think, the best advice that you can give them, I think it's the advice I would give anybody, whether they're an athlete with a disability or without without. I would say you just have to be persistent in your passions, in the sense that if that's truly what you want, to be a professional athlete, or if you want to be on the podium, you just have to that has to be your sole focus. And I think one of the things, especially working with youth and having the background as a professional athlete that I have, is I can understand and I can explain that to somebody, right, and I can help them find that in themselves. And so I've really enjoyed being able to work with athletes and try to figure out almost the psychological game. I knew what it took to get me motivated and get me ready to play at a high level. So how do I do that for another generation of folks?
All right, thank you very much. This was The Interview. Alex Peña, Ryan Martin, thank you very much.